What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, and today I'm going to talk about David Bowie's cover songs, the songs that David Bowie himself chose to cover on his studio albums. I'm not doing any of the live stuff. I do think that, like, what an artist covers live, you're serving a different purpose live. You're putting on a show. You're thinking on a different scale, and conceptually, I think the experience you probably want to give the audience members probably different than the experience you want to give like a listener at home. So I'm only doing the studio cover songs, not doing Tin Machine cover songs, just the David Bowie solo album studio cover songs. There's 19. I think I have all of them. One of them, Don't Let Me Down and Down, which was, I could not find the original of that. I think it's out there somewhere, I'm sure. I couldn't find it for this. So I won't be discussing that. But everything else, I have an opinion on. I think I got them all. If I miss one, let me know. I don't know what I'll do about it, but I don't know. But yeah, I have them divided up into kind of 4 categories. I'm going to go through them from 19 to 1, but I got the worst cover song, just horrible. I got 5 that I think are like C rated, pretty bad. I got 3 that are just okay. Kind of almost wish he didn't do them, but considering what the original sounds like, I'm like, okay, maybe it kind of works, maybe it doesn't. And then I got 10 that I actually think are really good, with 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 that are actually pretty fantastic towards the top of the list. And it's just, I think the lesson learned from this is, like, if you're going to cover somebody, cover something relatively obscure. Don't go for the hits. Don't go for things that are bona fide classics from another artist. Bowie's amazing. He has many, many bona fide classics himself. But some of the songs he chose to cover, no, don't. He shouldn't have. That's my opinion. So anyways, I just want to rank these because I'm sort of obsessed with him lately. I'm obsessed with his choice of cover songs and the just all over the success rate that he's had. Utter failure to complete perfection. It's been pretty amazing. So anyways, I'm just going to go 19 through 1, and then I'll put the list up at the end. But anyways, number 19 is God Only Knows. This is off the Tonight album. This is the worst thing ever. It's an absolutely perfect song. Like, it is. God Only Knows, the original, the Beach Boys track. It's a perfect song. No one needs to redo it. No one. Maybe as an instrumental, I could see it like a jazz instrumental, because then you're not competing with just the voice is not an actual voice. But Bowie has managed to put strings on this. He has these horrible drums. It's way too dramatic of a performance, completely lacking the utter innocence that the original has. It's just already a bad album, and this is like just, let's just stab it in the heart to make sure it's a bad album, and then it's dead on arrival. Yeah, God Only Knows is rough. Worst thing. Next 5, I also think are pretty bad. His cover of Across the Universe off Young Americans, the Beatles / Lennon song. Yeah, he just doesn't need to happen. Such a perfect, beautiful original. The bounce, the sort of hopeful kind of swaying bounce that the original has is gone. Kind of almost campy in a way. Like, you're not really sure how sincere Bowie is. This is like the mid-70s, so who knows what's going on through his head. But just, it doesn't work for me. Another almost perfect song you've managed to, like, not get, or like get, but decide to do something that's completely opposite of what is at the core of the song. Weird. I Feel Free gets points for fooling me in the beginning, not realizing it's I Feel Free, but this is another one, just why, doesn't need to happen. This was off of, what album was this off of? I don't know what album this was off of. I started writing down the names of the albums they're off of, and then I switched it to who wrote the original song. It's all, I think it's Never Let, no, it's not, it's all Black Tie, White Noise, right? Yeah. Yeah, just doesn't need to happen. Yeah, just not. Let's not let that happen. Don't Look Down, the Iggy Pop song, off Tonight, and it's slowed down and it's turned to reggae. Like, how did Iggy Pop and David Bowie remain friends after David Bowie did this to this song? It's another song that's on a not a very good album, and Bowie just manages to make the album worse by taking what is like a good sort of Iggy Pop rock song and turning it to like bad 80s reggae. It's bad. Number 15 is I Keep Forgetting. This is off Tonight also. And not even sure who sings this one originally. But it has this very kind of theatrical, bluesy 40s type pop vibe, the original, that, okay, not bad. But Bowie gives it this sort of, this Elvis cheesy vibe mixed with not a fully committed Robert Plant Honey Drippers vibe. But neither of them are really the exact vibe. There's horns that just don't need to, I don't want there. And just the whole thing just doesn't work. The song already, wasn't all that great of a choice to begin with, but I don't think Bowie makes it worse. And then number 14 is another Iggy Pop song that Bowie just manages to completely rob the Iggy out of, and that's Bang Bang. This one was off the Never Let Me Down album. Yeah, it's overproduced. It's just a big no. It's just a big no. Yeah, I mean, the original version is just like this thin down sort of just Iggy muscular bare bones rock, and David just manages to like, it's not. It's way too much is going on. It's not good. Yeah, so those five are pretty bad. We get 3, which I think are like, I might give it to you. Number 13, Let's Spend the Night Together. And the only reason I'm almost kind of buying in on this a little is because he's selling the campiness vibe. It's sort of an Aladdin Sane, Ziggy hangover, not really sure where we're going next kind of campiness that like maybe works in the context of what David was going through in like this part of the 70s. The Stones, one thing listening to it is the lyrics are pretty, the lyrics are pretty, let's spend the night together. But now I need you more than ever. Come on, you got to do this for me. The Stones make it work, right? They make it work. Like they just sell this. This is them. Bowie, he can't do it sincerely. I don't think it doesn't work. So there's a little bit of camp in there. I'm kind of buying it a little bit. I think it's not horrible as the other ones. Number 12 is Fill Your Heart, which I do think is the weakest song on Hunky Dory. But the original is this very kind of hokey musical theater type song. I think Bowie's vocals make it a little less hokey and a little less tolerable. Considering what the original is compared to the cover, it kind of works. It's just a bad song choice, and he doesn't need to be on Hunky Dory, I don't think. And then number 11 is Try Some, Buy Some, which is a George Harrison song. A little less cozy, a little bit faster. Harrison's version is a lot more of like just kind of a piano, chill out, George Harrison singing type song. That really good, sort of like George Harrison kind of dark pop, whatever he does. Good choice, not the best execution, but not bad. And this is off of one of his later albums, right? Off Reality. So now we get to the top 10, which I actually think are all really good choices. Like every single one of these is a good song choice. And David doesn't manage to mess any of them up. Number 10 is the Walker Brothers, Scott Walker's Night Flights. Yeah, and this is it's just, the problem with this is the production. This is off Reality. No, this is off Black Tie, White Noise. And the production on this is it's just busy, too much going on. But he pretty much sticks to the song, and so that hypnotic groove that the song has just kind of eventually sets in, and it all kind of works because of the groove, because of the song, because he doesn't tweak it too much. He kind of he sticks with the overall vibe, and that groove kind of wins out. So it would have been neat if he had done this in a different era, so you just had a different sounding cover version of this, but I think what he did with it is pretty good. Number 9 gets straight up points for the cover, the choice. I Took a Trip on a Gemini Spaceship, one of 3 great songs off of Heathen, not Heathens, Drive By Truckers album. The original is this really low key, like recorded at home with a drum machine type home demo type thing that's kind of weird and spacey and like yeah, just this weird home artist who maybe, gets famous because the DIY approach. Bowie's turned it into kind of a nice little sort of, trippy, weird techno thing with this nice driving beat in it. And almost has like 80s dance OMD type vibes. It works well. Kind of a good choice. Number 8 is In Ain't Easy off Ziggy Stardust. Just a lot heavier, a lot more bluesy into it. Great song for as a choice of a cover. The original has this really awesome sort of virtuoso solo bluesy acoustic guitar thing before we go into the actual In Ain't Easy song. And the original is a little more back porch jammy type thing. But it's a really good choice in song. It fits Ziggy really well. It's almost like Ziggy, the Stardust himself, came down and saw somebody playing this in like Tennessee and was like, oh, this is what American music is. I'm going to make it my own. So it kind of also works in like the story of Ziggy Stardust. Really good choice. Number 7 is Morrissey's I Know It's Gonna Happen Someday. Another good song. Doesn't have that long intro that the original has. We get a quick build up. We get a quick drop in almost directly into the vocals on David Bowie's version. I think I like Morrissey's version better. I just think Morrissey's voice suits these vocals better. But it's a good song choice. I think Bowie doing Morrissey's is good. So yeah, I'm all for that. Just a good song choice all around. Number 5 is Criminal World. Cover from a band named Metro. This was on the Let's Dance album. And the original is awesome. The original is this really low-key, almost just very early 80s synthesizer type awesome that you could have seen on MTV in the early 80s. That could have been a hit. Almost like a Berlin Metro type thing. That kind of like keyboard vibe. Really good song. David gets points for the choice. The bass work on here is pretty incredible. But I prefer the original, but had David Bowie never covered it, I wouldn't know the original. So I put it way up another 5 for the choice, and I was able to seek out the original, which I do think is a better version. But props on Bowie for covering this song. Right? It was from a band called Metro. That's what they're called, right? I wrote their name down somewhere. Yeah, Metro. I was thinking Berlin's Metro. Then I thought maybe I got confused. Riding on the Metro. Berlin. Number 4 is the Pixies' Cactus. Yeah, just really good. He does a great job with this. Another just fantastic choice of songs to cover. It starts off like a little more acoustic-y than the Pixies version. The Pixies version is heavier from the start. But the way Bowie lets it unfold and it gets kind of weirder and heavier as the song goes on, it works really well. Just excellent song choice. Good job. And the 3 songs off Heathen. I have Cactus at number 4. I've Been Waiting for You at number 6. And then, I Took a Trip on a Gemini Spaceship at number 9. So the 3 cover songs on Heathen. Yeah, he was in a good place for that one. Number 3 is Tom Verlaine from Television's Kingdom Come, off his solo album. Another really good choice of songs. Of course, Verlaine's is definitely a little sparser, a little more of an economical post-punk vibe. David's is fuller. It's got more dance energy. It definitely has more of an art rock vibe than it does whatever it was Television and Tom Verlaine, that kind of post-punk, get down to bare necessities type vibe. But it's an excellent song choice, incredible. Kingdom Come. And then the 2, which I think are just like such inspired choices. Number 2, Pablo Picasso. This is off the Reality album. This is a Modern Lovers, Jonathan Richman song. And I had a housemate. We never shared a room, but we shared a house for a couple years. This was one of his all-time favorite songs back in college, and he used to always reference these lyrics and talk about Pablo Picasso not being, or maybe possibly being. Then Modest Mouse dropped an album later. We had to throw Bukowski into that mix. It's just, the original song is this sort of attitude-filled indie rock, whatever indie rock was back in that day, just this really kind of smarmy, ultra clever type song. David, has given it a whole different vibe, and I think it has new lyrics that aren't a part of the original, or at least aren't the original I know. And then he goes into the song and actually does the song. So it's this weird sort of like weird mesh of possibly original Bowie stuff with the original song. And it fits reality perfect. The weirdness just fits reality perfect. His is a little more upbeat. It definitely is like a reimagining of the song, but what a genius idea. It's just perfect. If you know more about like where the Bowie lyrics come from, because I know they're not in the original, so I'm interested in that. But there's like a whole verse before we get to the actual Pablo Picasso part. And then finally, number one, not only one of his best songs, whether or not it's a cover, easily his best cover, Wild is the Wind, Johnny Mathis song, Nona Simone song. He's definitely leading more into the Simone angle than he is the Mathis angle. It's just musically, what he has written as the intro and before we get to the vocals is just beautiful and perfect. His performance is perfect. Just, yeah, it is such a powerful, perfect song. Such a incredible cover song on an album that only has 6 songs. For this to be a cover and have like so much impact on that album, well chosen, awesome. It is interesting to go listen to the Johnny Mathis version first, because that is just your typical Johnny Mathis, just drenched in sappy strings type vibe, and then to hear Bowie's version. But his is definitely more like Nina Simone's, her like bare bones piano take. David instead is just giving it this absolutely perfect music. But yeah, that's it. My number one, easily, of his cover songs, Wild is the Wind. That's what they look like in writing. Broke it up into handy little chunks so you can see where I put the breaks. You got the horrible thing, got a bunch of C songs, you got some handful of B songs, and you got a bunch of A material, that top 10. But yeah, that's all I got. If you know anything about any of these songs that I don't, interested in where those extra lyrics come from in Pablo Picasso, please share them with me, the Bowie lyrics. But yeah, that's all I got. Just wanted to talk about his covers. I might address his the live covers, because I have different opinions about that. So I may get to that maybe next week or so. But anyways, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these covers, which one I should reevaluate because it's not as bad as I'm claiming it is, or which ones I should reevaluate because it's much worse than I think it is. But yeah, I think that's all I got for now. Thanks. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that stuff you're supposed to do. And peace. Go listen to Wild is the Wind, and then listen to Johnny Mathis' version, and then listen to Bowie's version. Fantastic. All right, peace. Talk to you later.